everybody, it's Uncle Scott. Welcome back to the QwerkyReax channel, and what a week it's been. We have been ping-ponging between the great Cristal and Matt, and who's also great. I didn't mean to just put the great on Cristal. And so it's all been kind of leading up a Ren week to this, which is the both of them together reacting to Tales, the Tales trilogy. If you're a Renegade, you know what I'm talking about. First, let's bring them in. Cristal and Matt, happy to see you. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
All right. Yes, obviously, he's been a guest star all week. We love it. So I will tell to anybody who hasn't seen earlier in the week, I will mention Cristal has seen some of this and knows some of the, like, what's going on in the Tales. Matt has no idea what's going on. So he's here for a genuine first time ride. Cristal's here for more of a like in-depth look at what's going on kind of thing, and wanted to be part of the reaction, and I think that's awesome. So for Matt's edification, and for any of you that are watching this for the first time, I don't know how that's possible if you're on my channel, but hey, sure. It's 3 songs. It's the tale of Jenny, the tale of Screech, and Violet's tale. So you know, Matt, they're all one takes. I know you're shocked. Absolutely shocked.
At this point, I'm used to it.
Yep. And they were shot kind of in order that you're going to see them in. There were just like gaps in between. But the beauty of it that you're seeing it now is you get to see them all at once. And it's kind of an overarching tale. I won't build it up too much. I'll just let you check it out. There you go. Shocking. He's playing the guitar.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. It actually, these videos contain some of my favorite guitar like licks from him, if that's what you want to call them. Ooh. But all right, so this is the first one. As you guys know, I've said this to you before. If you need me to stop or you want to mention something in the middle of it, just raise your hand. I'm watching you more than I'm watching the video. Otherwise, I will stop in between each song so that we can react to it. Sound good?
Yep. Okay.
Let's do it. This is the Tales trilogy by Ren. New for Matt and kind of new for Cristal, kind of not. So we'll enjoy it. Here we go.
It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone, she was dragging her feet. She was heading back home to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, because she walked it about 1,000 times before. She wanted to escape. Can you blame? Well, on the very same night, in a different place, there walked this hooded young youth by the name of James. He was 14 years old and out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the street. His mates called him Screech. He was quick on his feet. He was a liar, a thief. At 14 years old, the devil had set his sights on his soul. As Jenny walked home all alone, she felt scared. Usually she was alright, but it was like there was something in the air. A divine intervention telling her to beware, maybe intuition bugging her and making her so scared. Sirens sound in the distance at the beat of Jenny's feet. A symphony of the night that echoes crime on London streets. Jenny turns a corner, their eyes they meet. Our poor girl Jenny, a boy named Screech. Give me all your money, bitch, give it to me. If you cooperate, then you'll soon be free. I want your purse, your phone, don't fucking look at me. I mean it. Bitch, are you listening to me? Jenny freezes statue like a lady shakes stalactite. Feel like liquid nitrogen in the dark night. She tried to find strength to move, but stayed as still as a statue in high-heeled shoes. What the hell you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to fucking God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it, girl? You don't know me. The last thing you see will be a boy called Screech reached for the sheath of the blade with the teeth that could bite through steel and slice concrete, and he swung possessed with the devil in his chest, and the statue she was turned to butter in her breath. It was a quiet dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny lay still on the cold concrete. She's found somewhere to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, 'cause she'd walked it about 1,000 times before. I guess that she escaped. It's such a shame.
Damn. That's crazy.
So that's the first one. I'm actually, just because of the way the screen is set up, I'm going to bring you guys back to this so we can talk about the first song before bringing it back so that everyone can see you. So thoughts? Questions?
Is he talking about like a homeless woman?
No, he's talking about a lady of the night. That's why he's saying she's walked this street about 1,000 times before. He also says the rosy on her cheeks because she's got extra makeup on, like a woman of the night would.
I was thinking like maybe it was a homeless woman like in the winter time.
Yeah, no. I see why you got there, but also I've watched this way too many times and have also read all the backstory of it and everything else. So it's supposed to be that she's a call girl, a teenage call girl, because if you remember, he says that they're like she's very young at the beginning, which
that is so sad.
Yeah, extremely sad. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, one of the first things that popped into my head, at least as a woman, is that is far too common. Us walking alone in a usually busy street. It's empty. Everything is fine until it's not. And, you know, it like, especially when he spoke about, like, usually everything feels okay, but this time something feels off.
Yep.
Intuition is eating her. Like, we've had our private conversations, but I can't tell you how many times, like, you could feel when something's about to go wrong walking down the street. Yeah, I just to keep things light, like the other day, I was chilling on the train about to come home, and I had saw a friend of mine from high school, and I got so excited. So I said hello, I hugged him, and out of complete nowhere, like not even my friend saw where this dude was coming from, he posted up at me and he's like, "Are you all right? You okay?" But not in a "are you okay" manner, like threatening me, like, "What's up?" You know what I mean? So it took my friend Carlos to be like, "Yeah, she's okay." And mind you, like, that was out of complete nowhere. There was people around me. I can't imagine if that was just me by myself.
Right.
So like that, like where she's just sitting there like, bro, like she froze up, didn't know what to do. And mind you, this is a call girl. This is stuff that they deal with all the time. They deal with even worse men because they're doing things that unfortunately no child should have to do for the sake of money or for the sake of survival. But you do have to face angry men, desperate men. And in times like that, things get so dangerous. You don't know what could have happened to her throughout those calls.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if you noticed, but like throughout it, I'm like bumping. I'm like, oh, this is nice. And then as I'm listening to the lyrics, you see my face kind of like drop where I'm like, oh, this is really sad. Oh God, Jesus.
And
but
kind of the way
kind
of the way he puts it, you know what I mean? Like the way he put it, that she sensed it. Just like what you said, like you have this like sixth sense that's like, this
something's off.
Something's off.
On the right foot.
And
yeah,
I say it on the channel all the time. I'm a big energy person. Like my spirituality is energy. Like I feel like we all kind of have this energy that you and I, meaning me and both of you, We're just talking about this before we started recording about how like I love how we just get each other and the vibe is there. Like that's an energy thing. We can just like feel it and like we get each other without having to explain it. And I feel like when there's so many times, you know, I grew up in an inner city, so I get like I'll have a sixth sense about something where I'm just like I call it my spidey sense, where it just doesn't feel right. And so, you know, you start paying attention more to what's going on because nope.
Yeah, bro. God. And like, just like her, you feel something off. You're like,
Start putting your guard up.
You start putting your guard up. But then there's also the other side where you're like, well, maybe I'm bugging.
You feel like you're paranoid.
Yeah. Because like, especially as a woman, like it happens so often. You're like, maybe I'm just becoming a little more paranoid because I'm around certain people that I might feel like might be shady, or like maybe it's because of the environment I'm in. Like you low key kind of start to gaslight yourself into feeling a little more safe just because you feel like, well, what if this is nothing? Because usually, sometimes it is. Sometimes you walk by, you're like, oh, thank God, you know? But like, unfortunately, like in situations where things like this do happen, you have to think on your feet, which is like, give the man all that he wants, which is exactly what he was asking for. Oh God, Dios.
There's a book called The Gift of Fear, Crystal, that if you've never read, I'm gonna send to you because it's all about this exact type of thing and how women are so busy in their heads trying to make sure that the guy is comfortable, that they put themselves in situations where basically the premise of the book is we have incredibly honed instincts from centuries of, you know, humanity, and women especially have great intuition, and too many times they end up being a victim because they didn't trust the intuition or they tried to be too nice. Anyway, big divergent from what we're doing. We should get back to the music, but I'm just saying what you just said made me think of that book, and you know, I think you'd enjoy the perspective of the book is all I was trying to say.
100%. Send it to me. I would love to read it.
Yeah, it's really good. I sent it to my one friend and she read it twice because she was like, I really need to understand what this guy is saying. Yeah, he just snapped Matt in the face, bro.
That's a daily occurrence with his ears. Like, God.
I love it. All right, so this will now be the tale of Screech, which also starts with one of my favorite guitar riffs. So here we go. Get over to it.
Our story, it starts right at the end of the life of poor Jenny, clocked out like Big Ben. Dear Screech, dear boy, where did he go? He melted into the black night just like snow. Patrick, man, let me in, please open the door. I think I fucked up, Patrick, really fucked up, man, I'm not sure. I got crazy, left this lady lying still on the floor. I think I killed her, Patrick, come on, man, I can't knock no more. But Screech kept on knocking till his knuckles became sore. But there's no sign of Patrick down at number 54. No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away. Hey, babe, you in? Nah, nothing really. I'm just a bit tired. Listen, can I swing around yours for a few moments? I just really miss you, babe. What the fuck do you mean you're busy? You fucking bitch! For fuck's sakes! Siren sounds approaching like a banshee in the night. The shrill cry of justice cutting like the sharpest knife. But Screech was never one to run, not one to miss a fight. One hand upon his blade, he turned to face the blue lights. Come on then, you fucking cunts, let's fucking have you then. I am Screech, I'm the boss, I'm the ender of men. You think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech. Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest. Our story, it ends right at the start. Young Screech and poor Jenny lying 1 street apart. An officer shaken by the boy that he claimed. 2 bodies lay lifeless, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame.
The artistry in that, yeah. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Focused on like the point where his voice got louder to like portray the anxiety that he was going through.
Did you notice how like the music kind of became more erratic? Like, actually, you start hearing a certain note that you heard in high ren, that that you hear when that other side of him is speaking, especially when he's like, exactly. So I find that interesting how he's kind of using little, yeah, but he's also like Easter eggs, little Easter eggs from like other songs into his means. Oh my God, that's so sad. Like, I'm sorry, like I gasped when he portrayed the 4 bullets hitting his chest. Ugh.
Wait, Matt, what did you say? I can't. You're a little bit softer than Crystal, so I couldn't hear what you said.
I was saying, like, she said that she liked the way that he portrayed the gunshots, and I said that he used the guitar like
Oh, right. Yeah.
God.
Also, so, well, what did you think of the whole dynamic of him, like, you know, trying to get his buddy, and then he's trying to get his girl? Like, what'd you think of how all that went down?
It's realistic because in that situation, that is something that somebody would do.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to get their friends, their closest like partners, to try to help them out, trying to find a way out, but nobody's really gonna be there for you in those types of times.
Right.
Oh.
So can I give you the tea? So Ren said on his Instagram page, because people like really got into the tales, the reason that when he knocks on Patrick's door, the reason the guy isn't home, and the reason that his girlfriend is busy is because Patrick is hooking up with his girl.
I just made the connection too. I was like, oh shit. Your life was just going to shit regardless.
Right, but if you think about it, it's not because they're like cheaters or bad people. It's because she's scared of Screech. And he knows, Patrick knows that like he's abusive, because you see how crazy he gets, just like when she's like, oh no, I'm busy. Like, obviously this, right. Like, obviously this guy's a psychopath. And so he like feels bad for her. So he ends up like trying to protect her. And that's how they end up together. It's like a story inside the story kind of thing.
That's so sad because, like, I also noticed that they said they died one street apart.
He didn't get far.
No, he didn't. Because, like, he just ran and then started calling people, like his
Yeah.
support group.
And then charged at a man.
Yeah, well, charged at the police, not even charged at a man.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why he got shot in the chest 4 times. He was saying, like, you guys think you own the streets? Well, no, I'm the one that owned the streets. My name is Screech, type shit. Like, he was saying, like, he's the terrorist of that area. Like, I own this shit because I just took somebody's life, kind of thing.
And he says that the verse starts with Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3". Like, he says he's a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Working on the night shift, what he didn't think he'd see. I've definitely seen this song.
My man got it memorized. Yeah, I can't even say nothing though.
Okay, so we're now going to get to Violet's Tale, which kind of somehow crazily brings a whole nother layer to the story. So I'm not going to say too much about it other than this also starts with another one of my favorite guitar moments from Ren. And you saw what I meant about that last one, though, right? Like, when he stands up and starts jamming, I'm like, bro, like, this dude's self-taught. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, he doesn't know how to read music. Like, this is all him by himself.
Yeah. Like, I said it before, I'll say it again. Bro's a cheat code. But you'll see what I mean, definitely for real on this one. When you'll see. And then he does some more acting in this one that I think is really cool. So enjoy. I'll stop talking. Everyone gets mad at me. Just press play, Scott. Just press play. All right, here we go.
Oh, God.
Filthy.
Yo.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beeps and bloodstains, she saw a lady weep. She's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's Tale.
He's rewinding the hands of time.
He's so crazy.
And listen to the acoustics of where he's playing when he does this. Like, as he's walking around, you'll see what I mean.
Violet was a silent girl, grew up with violent starts. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. I'll spare you of the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew. Violet was a silent girl, she moved out at 16. A semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme. Packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet she fell fast. See, Stevie was the wrong un, but he sure knew how to charm her. Every night he took her tight but never left the room. History repeats itself, he'd paint her black and blue and dark. She never stood a chance. The devil comes to dance. Violet, why are you always so quiet? On her bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, he's up late. And he stands by her bedside, she shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, why are you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fists when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood splat, bone crack, knick knack, paddy whack, one to the jaw and the tooth spat, detached fist connects and disconnects a bone. A quick deflect to misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you always so silent, Violet? Why you such a little liar, Violet? Do you think I wanna do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Well, say something, Violet. Silence. Fucking say something, Violet. Silence. Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet.
Now, movie time forward again, back to the hospital.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins aligned side by side. A girl named Jenny and a boy named Screech.
Nah, wait! That is so sad.
Screech ended up killing his sister, basically.
Yeah.
His twin sister.
Oh, God. Jesus, fuck. Jesus, that was sad as fuck. That is tough. Not gonna lie. Jesus Christ. Like, I'm at a place right now where it's just like, because like I didn't see the first two songs. I only saw the Violet song, not until the end, just until the point where he like realized like, oh shit, I killed her, kind of thing, or like, oh shit, she's like not doing well. That type of shit gives me chills every single time. Because it's one of those things that you would not be able to understand what it's like or how people get themselves into situations like that until you're there, or until you're living it yourself, or you're watching your friend go through it, or a family member, you know what I mean? And as someone that did witness both my mom and a former best friend of mine go through that type of shit, like the silence, like the fact that one, her name is Violet, and she was always described as this quiet, timid girl, didn't say anything. She was just chilling, minding her own business. Like, you hear things like her mom knew about it. In the beginning of like Violet, it was like something that her mom probably knew already.
Yep. His line is,
And
"I'm sure her mother knew."
yeah, it's literally like, and the thing about it is that most of the time, one of the biggest questions that come to mind is like, okay, but why didn't anybody else do anything about it? And it's usually because you can't. Not because you don't want to, but because there's someone in between you and that other person that is still very much in love with them, or still cares, or still has affection or pity. Exactly. And nothing that you can say to them, and I mean this in every set, like every part of the word, it's like nothing you say to them can break them out of that type of delusion unless they themselves see it. And usually, unfortunately, they don't until it's absolutely too late. Damage has already been done to a point where they're no longer the same person, or God forbid, not even on the same planet.
Yep.
And it's ironic, but so true, that even though those babies were not even there, but their lives were very much still affected by that abuse. And nobody believes how crazy it is, because like obviously you have those people that are like, that people that like look at it and they're like, they just want to be there. And it's like, no, they don't. They don't want that shit. They literally, it's that they, one, don't understand how bad it is, and two, how can they defend themselves when they believe that this person is fully, one, in their right, because that's also a thing, and two, they believe like, well, nothing is being done wrong, so why should you protect me? Anything you do in retaliation to that other person, you end up losing them too. So now you have a choice: watch this happen, or like leave.
Yep.
And that is the craziest thing anybody has to do for themselves or for somebody else.
Yep.
Oi, Ren. Ren.
So a couple of things too. If you guys don't mind, I'd like to point out some of the genius of his storytelling, because if you think about it, he has Jenny. She took on the same persona of her mother. When things got crazy, what did she do? She got quiet. So when she faced with Screech, she freezes. She goes quiet, and that's why Screech, then Screech kills her. And then that's exactly
it only
right.
continues generational curses, bro.
Exactly. And so like he tells the story in a way that's obviously, like, we all know that this is exactly how this shit usually goes down. So, but the way he tells it, he's setting it all up from the beginning with the personality traits that they took from their mother and father. Then you take it a step further. Her name's Jenny. His name is James, that he calls himself by Screech. But he says at the beginning in Jenny's Tale of Jenny, he says his name is James, but he goes by Screech. And so those are the names that are usually given, apparently, in the UK to orphans that don't have parents. And so because she dies in during the childbirth from the abuse, and obviously that would get him put in jail for murder. So they end up in foster care, but they're split up, so they never get to know each other. One of them is named Jennifer, the other one is named James. Then they go to live these lives that actually kind of replicate the personalities of the parents that they had. Like, it's like Stephen King level weaving together a story. You're like, bro. And then you put it in a song. Like,
bro.
what?
God. And the genius to like make the rewinding audible.
Right.
To
So
make,
going back in time.
yeah, like make it so that you're like, oh shit, I'm going back in time. Oh shit, no, I'm forwarding in time. It's like,
So then on top of that, the acting,
yes,
the
bro.
ability to act with rap and play guitar at the same time.
Right.
The dynamics and emotion and everything is great.
In a one take.
Mm.
Like no cuts. Like what? Out in public, by the way. Like they literally had some like people come downstairs and be like, what's going on? Like people called the police when he was like screaming and they were like, oh yeah, that's just Ren. Like the police knew, like, oh yeah, it's just Ren out there doing what he does.
How they're being creative.
Just leave the kid alone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really his talent is
Ridiculous.
it's next level.
Bro, I honestly though, like I said this to you to the side after I recorded Hunger with Scott. And obviously they don't know about that because it was over. But like I told you that Ren really does remind me of Kendrick Lamar with the way that they tell stories and how serious, because Kendrick Lamar has gone through some shit just opposite side of the spectrum. He's a black African American artist who grew up around gangs, dysfunctional family, you know, all of that. So it's like if you listen to his music and also like comparing it to like obviously they're two different sides of the spectrum. For him, he goes towards more hip hop and rap. For him, it's like still like hip hop and rap, but his own version, Ren at least. But it's like he really does remind me of it, down to the acting, down to like how
Personality.
yes, like
Kendrick Lamar, like in his old music, there was a lot of points in the songs where he would go from like one persona and then switch and then blame it on him being a Gemini.
mhm, like using that, like using artistry to show what his life was like, but also talking about very, very serious topics that need to be spoken about in the Black community and need to be spoken about in the community in general. Like, bro, it was just like I had this same reaction listening to God. What was the name of this one song? Um, the one with his uncle, his trans uncle, Auntie Diaries. Same reaction where I'm listening and I'm like having like an emotional response because I'm like, this is real shit that is being spoken about. And this is stuff that happens in real life, but so many people turn a blind eye to or just refuse to want to acknowledge that it's there, to then further invalidate other people and then continue the cycle. So it's like, God, I just have to say, like, I appreciate when artists use what they have, their talent, whether it be self-taught, not self-taught, classical, whatever, to speak about very serious things such as this. Because this was like, sure, you can make it about like domestic violence, but this was about a generational curse. One that is just going to continue to go on well, unfortunately now they're dead, but like
Right.
one that will continue to go on with other people. If they were to live, let's say Jenny and James were to live and they continued in their dysfunctional ways, it would just keep going.
Until somebody breaks the cycle.
Exactly. Until someone breaks the cycle or they kill each other off. And unfortunately, that is how that ended for them.
Which is why I truly believe that's the reason that he wrote the lyric that one of the last lines of the song is a tragedy or a miracle. It happened on these very streets. Like, and why would you think that like a brother killing his twin sister is a miracle? But what you just said, Crystal, do you see what I'm saying? Like that, and that's the part of his storytelling and his lyricism that just makes me go, how did you? I'm as a writer, I'm so fucking jealous. Like it's crazy. Like, how did you do that, bro?
Literally, because it honestly takes a lot of reflection for you to have to sit down and be like, damn, this is the real. And like, for real, like it's either a tragedy or a miracle, depending on how you want to look at it and who's looking at this. You could see it as a miracle because now this generational curse is not going to continue. It ended with these two.
Exactly.
It depends on like where you are personally,
Mhm.
like your growth as a person.
Agreed. Because depending on where you are personally is depending on whether or not you're going to see that as like, oh my God, that is so tragic, or oh my God, thank Jesus. You know what I mean? But either way, personally, if like someone were to ask me tragedy or miracle, I would say tragedy overall, because this is just sad. Nobody was able to say, damn, something's wrong. I need to look within myself. No one had the chance to because of the amount of shit that was going on in their lives and how much like triumph they had to keep pushing through to the point that that was the end.
That alone shows you how much like introspection is needed.
Literally, how much being considerate towards another person is so necessary. You don't know who you are coming across,
Right.
who's having a shitty day, which kind of comes back to like the video that you make honestly all the time on your videos, like where you're like, don't wait to be happy to like do something with yourself. Like just do it because of that exact thing. You don't know.
Yep.
You have no idea what somebody is going through. Being considerate, being able to sit down and reflect and be like, damn, is the problem really that they're mad at me, or is it something that they're going through personally that's affecting their behaviors?
Right.
Like, but of course, like he said, that also does depend on where you are in your growth and like where you are mentally. Because if you're in a place where you're seeing everything as hellish and everything is miserable, you know, you're not going to have a very nice perspective in life or a very positive perspective in life. Things are going to seem more draining. Yeah, more draining than usual. Every loss feels harder than what it was. When the opposite side of that, if you're someone that is working on themselves or has worked on themselves already and has completed that, a loss could be like, okay, lesson learned. Not doing that again.
Right.
Try again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I do want to ask, and I'm not trying to take away from the meaningfulness of the story and everything else, but
No.
I always forget to ask people, and it also kind of gets lost because of how the song ends, how the trilogy ends.
Right.
Just like you're so involved in the story. I wanted to talk just a little bit about, because we didn't talk about his musical talent, just from Violet's tale at the end. Like, we didn't really get to talk about his guitar stuff at the beginning, or what did you think about like the acoustics that I kind of mentioned, where like you heard the acoustic change by him walking around in the hospital. So you're both musical people, so I just wanted to get a little bit of flavor of that too in there, of what you thought of that.
I feel like when he was changing the dynamics, like where he specifically walked into rooms where there was more reverb, it was like perfectly placed. Like it added to the lyrics that he was saying at the time.
It also added to the environment where it's like he's talking about these very serious things, obviously. I found it funny that in Started Violet, he started off in the hospital again, where it's like, we've been here before. But it's like, it starts off in a room where the acoustics is just kind of like us in this room. You know, if we were to sing, it's kind of normal. But then he goes into the hallway when he's walking, almost as if he is trying to demonstrate, hey, this is where I fucked up. Look back, because even throughout that point, that's when he kind of started to rewind, going back into the story, going through that hallway where I was like, like I've
changed the scenery.
Yeah, like I feel like it added perfectly to not just the music, it added perfectly to the story, and it added like a crazy effect to what he was trying to say and more depth.
In a way, it kind of shaped the environment.
Literally, like we ended up in a fucking abandoned like area at some point where he's just like talking to the floor and honestly speaking, right, because he starts off in the hospital, that only adds to like what we're seeing, his insanity afterwards.
Yep.
Everything is kind of scattered around.
Yeah. Did you notice? Well, obviously you've noticed that, duh. But like, but did you notice that in the beginning of Starting Violet, when he starts singing, he's swaying back and forth like he's trying to self-comfort. Like, and I noticed that immediately, and I was like, ah.
It's like self-soothing.
Yeah, he's like trying to sit there like, oh God, like something is troubling his mind, and he's about to start telling us the story as to why he's there in the first place. So it's like.
What I also noticed on your guys' end was, Cristal, you were actually, until he got into the room where they were like, he was kind of like beating on her, you were actually kind of really vibing with the song and moving along with the beat. And it was like, then all of a sudden the message hit you and your body just stalled. And it was, like, it was like, it just like, you went from, this isn't just music, like, and it's not that you weren't listening the whole time to what he was saying. I'm not saying that. It's just like, there was this moment where all of a sudden it got really real. And like,
yeah, it did. I was bumping.
Yeah,
I was, because there's a, especially where he was just like, he never stood a chance. I know that part. The devil comes to dance. That part, I was bumping. I was like, hey, you know. And then when he starts like talking about like doing the little rap sequence when he's like talking about like actually beating her, I was like, God fucking damn. Like even I would just like to say, obviously that was graphic as fuck for him to talk about, but the flow there.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh, disrespect. I'm like, oh, okay.
But that's what I'm saying. The reason I brought it up is because like it's almost like you have to remind yourself, like, oh wait, he's talking about like DV. Like this is
literally because I was bumping, and then I was like, wait, this is kind of serious. Someone's gonna be like, yo, she's having a little too much. Oh God.
She's dancing to this woman's death scene. Like, what the hell?
Literally, and I'm just like, bro, it's the music.
Right.
The music is so good. Oh my God. But like, I'm actually glad you showed me the entire thing, because I actually had no idea that was 3 separate songs in one sitting. I thought it was just Violet's tale. Like when you were telling me about the tales, I was like, oh, he's talking about Violet. That's what I thought. Not that you were talking about a whole fucking family of people going through the same shit, basically repeating history.
But so
fucking dude.
To be honest with you, that's kind of what I gleaned when we talked about it, but I didn't want to ruin it for you. So I was very much being like, well, why don't you join Matt when he does it and you guys can watch together? Like, and I'll make it like, well, and we'll be honest with the audience that you've probably seen this, but like, I kind of could tell, like, I don't think you've seen all of it. Like,
yeah, no, I only saw that snippet, that little part where it's like, he's saying like, he never stood a chance. Because that's all over TikTok and Instagram and stuff, you know, but that is not, bro, that shit is so fucking good. Like, I can't get over it. I have to download it, and I just have to remind myself that every time that song comes on, that it's like, oh, this is talking about something serious. Like, oh, chill.
Well, also, he doesn't have this on Spotify as one long 13-minute, all 3 songs. Like, you'd have to listen to the songs in order if you wanted to. Yeah. Like, he put this video together because so many people were like they all wanted to see it. So I think he did it as a favor to us, because so many people, like, once he put the 3rd one out, everyone was like, this is blowing our minds. Like, because it really does. You get to the ending. I don't know, Matt, when you watch this back, when the twin thing hit you, I almost said, Matt, your jaw, because you were like, like, legit.
Bro, because that shocked me so much. Because I heard Jenny, but it didn't click at first. And then I heard Screech, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yo, no, right. We both gasped at the same time. We were like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I almost like fully started like bursting into tears, though, because it was like, especially when he said that she was pregnant, I was like, stop. Because that's actually the thing about that's actually genius. And back to the morbid stuff, but the most dangerous part in a domestic violence relationship is when the woman is pregnant. And not because she's pregnant, it's because they become more violent for some reason.
Also, you're very vulnerable.
Exactly, bro. It is the most dangerous point when you're in a domestic violence situation, because that is literally the point where for some reason it just gets 1,000 times worse. And usually, unfortunately, a lot of pregnant women end up losing their lives Sometimes
baby.
with the babies.
Right.
Yeah.
One or the other.
It doesn't even matter. Like sometimes
Yep.
it's the baby and sometimes it's the woman and sometimes it's both.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you being willing to watch it together and like sit through the whole thing. I know it's kind of a long one, but I think it's worth it. And I wanted to ask, after this week of me exposing you to like the different kind of, I don't even know, the different alleyways that Ren can go down, like his different levels of talent. Do you feel like I've officially made you renegades?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I'm going on Spotify today.
Yo, we're probably going to be listening to it while we're cleaning the room.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished on my end then. That's like literally like one of the reasons I started the channel was I said I want to show this amazing artist to more people. And so getting to accomplish that with you guys is like exactly what I'm here for. Definitely go on to Spotify and listen to his stuff, but also keep in mind, if you want to react to more stuff, you can do it here on the channel. So don't listen to too much if you don't want to.
I almost did that yesterday.
Yikes.
I know that's hard though, so I understand if you give in, but stick with the hunger and stuff I've already shown you.
I'm
gonna try my best to. Like
Yeah.
usually when he shows me a song, I just look up the song. I don't look up Ren because if I look up Ren, I'm gonna go on his thing. Exactly. So I just look up the song.
It slowly.
What we should do is I should set up like just a really long recording day for you guys, so we can do like 8 songs in a row, and I'll scatter them throughout like the next couple of months. But then you guys can immediately be like, okay, I can listen to all of this now.
Finally! Let's go!
Exactly.
Oh my God.
That's really funny. Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this. You know I appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who's watching on YouTube. If you made it this far, you know I appreciate you too. Thanks for joining us this whole week. And if you think there are songs that Cristal and Matt should listen to next, if they're like, yo, because they like this one, they got to see this one next. If you've got something that should go to the top of the list, that's what the comment section is for. Thank you for joining us for the week. Hope you had a great one. I hope your weekend rocks. And remember, don't wait for life to be easy to be happy.